With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
Hello students, have a look at the question. Question is, consider the following statements with respect to the flowering plants and choose the correct option. Statement A is pollen grain represent the male gametes. B is functional megaspore develops into the embryo sac that represent the female gamete. Transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of different plant is known as xenogamy. Transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of another flower of same plant is known as the geitonogamy. So here we will see statement one by one. First one is pollen grain represent the male gamete. So first of all, if you see the in the case of the plants, pollen grain, these are formed from the microspore mother cells. Microspore mother cells, then by meiosis they forms the pollen grains or microbe tetrads that forms the pollen grains. Pollen grains further germinate on the stigma. It gets germinate on the stigma, and these form the generative cell as well as vegetative cells. And these pollen grains, when after germination on the stigma, they possess the two male nuclei, which is called as the male gametes. They release the male nuclei, that is the male gametes, while pollen grain itself, they represent the male gametophyte. Pollen grain represent the male gametophyte, which is formed from the microspore mother cells by microsporogenesis, and then in further they forms the gametes. So here statement is pollen grain represent the male gamete. Pollen grains represent male gametophyte. Male gametes are the nuclei that is being released by that is being formed by the further pollen grain, that were male gametes. So we can say that the A statement, that is the wrong. Next is functional megaspore develop into embryo sac that represent the female gamete. So if we'll see the megaspore, functional megaspore is formed by the megaspore mother cells. Megaspore is formed by megaspore mother cells. These megaspore further they form the, out of the megaspore mother cells, 4 megaspores are being formed, out of which one is functional and 3 get degenerated. One is functional, 3 get degenerated. One functional megaspore, it is developed into the functional megaspore that is developed into the embryo sac. This embryo sac carry the female gamete that is called as the eggs. So embryo sac carry the female gamete, that is the egg. So it means embryo sac similar to the pollen grain, they represent the female gametophyte. They represent the female gametophyte, and egg, that is the gametes that represent the female gametes. So here we will see that is the functional megaspore develop into the embryo sac that represent the female gamete. This is incorrect. Embryo sac, here we can see that represent the female gametophyte. So this is also B statement, that is also B statement is also incorrect. Next we are having transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of different plant is known as xenogamy. So this is correct statement. Transfer of anther from transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of different plants, means we are having two plants A and B. Anther from one plant, anther of one plant, that is being transferred, pollen from anther of one plant, that is being transferred into the second plant, stigma of the another plant. So that is the B plant, that is known as the xenogamy. So this is correct. Next is the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of another flower of same plant. So this is also correct, that is, it means here is the 2 flowers of the same plant. Plant is A, but 1 flower and 2 flower. First flower, it represent the anther, and second possess the stigma. So transfer of pollen from anther of one flower of same plant. Plant is same, that is A and A, but flower is different on the same plant, that is known as a geitonogamy. So this is also correct. It means C and D are correct, and rest all are A and B, that all are incorrect. So A and B incorrect, A and C incorrect, A and D incorrect, C and D correct. Option D is correct. Hope you get it. Thank you.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.